Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. A crazy day all the way around. Hello, Damon Williams. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sybil Wilkes. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just a little crazy right now. Things are happening, but just the way we like it. And news changing all the time. Damon, how are things in Chicago?
I wonder because I ain't been outside in 3 days.
Is that coronavirus related or cold related?
Combo. The cold just crept in, but it's going to actually sneak back up. Temperature's going to be a balmy 50 degrees soon. Uh,
Balmy.
well, in December. Come on now.
What?
But yeah, we keeping it still as much as we can because I take my little chances and shoot out on the road and do a show here and there selectively.
Yeah.
So when I can be home, I'm home.
So, Damon, we are talking about politics a lot, especially in the wake of this upcoming runoff elections in the state of Georgia. And just so folks know that, and remind folks about a terrific organization called Black Voters Matter. And we are brought to you by Black Voters Matter. And please visit blackvotersmatterfund.org for more information. And we thank LaTasha Brown and all the good folks there for their support. Damon, speaking of being on the road, how are things on the road?
It's very it depends on the states. I think you can make some money in the red states and you can't make no money in the blue states because Atlanta is wide open.
Yeah.
I went to Atlanta for one day for a fundraiser for veterans, and it wasn't that many people there, so it was socially distanced. But you see parties and all type of super spreader events taking place in Atlanta, and I'm going back. I'm going back the weekend of the 18th through the 20th at the Uptown. But this is my plan. I'm putting on my mask. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna run to that stage. I'm gonna tell my jokes, and I'm going back to the car because they are out there kicking it in the A. Seriously.
Are they kicking it in Atlanta the way they did in Dallas, or did you find a difference?
Dallas, I think the joke I told. I don't know if I did it when you were there that night. I think my mother prayed for my safety and thusly reduced the capacity and turnout for those shows. So I was covered by the blood of Jesus and low turnout.
Exactly.
I told them for the last show, I'm gonna tell her to unpray that prayer so we could make a few bucks that last night. She got a direct line.
Yes, yes, the evangelist. Yes, yes. And happy belated birthday to her, by the way.
And
Did she
thank
have
you
a
for
good
doing that. I did tell her.
did she have a good birthday?
She did. Mom's
Everything
birthday
is
is always,
different.
yeah, it's always near Thanksgiving. So, I went by there and then we Zoomed everybody else, just like the
Mhm.
holidays. And yeah, so she was happy.
Good, good, good. Um, in Chicago and Illinois is on the rise after all of this Thanksgiving stuff that's going on in terms of coronavirus cases. I still tune in and I hear the governor, with his daily updates and find out, about the restaurants, still being closed or more being closed out as they have reduced the capacity and what have you. But the really interesting thing was, Damon, there is a Chicago alderman who owns one of the famous breakfast restaurants, and it's called Ann Sather's.
Okay.
And and so he owns this, and he has been breaking the rules as set down by the city of Chicago regarding opening and who they allow in. And as one of his employees said, somebody ratted us out. No, they were
No,
reporting you because you were breaking the rules.
you had them. You got a menu available. I mean, you were open. You could go online and say we are open. See what you don't realize is Lori don't play them games. See,
Okay.
yeah, Auntie Uncle Lori, she do what she do.
Stop it.
Uh, Cause I love her. I love her for how she get out. But all I just need her to do is get a stylist. I just need her to find somebody to find some suits that fit because she sometimes show up at the press conference like it was a surprise. That's all I'm saying. I don't care about a lifestyle, but damn it, you can get a him. You can.
And a
She
little
be like,
face
that's right
thing.
now. That's how she look at the press conference. That's today. Oh, well, shit, I guess I'm wearing this then. Shit, I'm gonna have this on. The first couple of weeks, she was disheveled. She was like, well, shit, didn't nobody tell me it was right now? But she don't play no games, and I'm sure he thought he was above the law because he was an alderman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of that hue. A lot of folks are talking about some news that has just come out that we're reporting that Joe Biden, the president-elect, is going to make another nomination, and it's going to involve bringing more color to his cabinet. One of my favorite people, she is Congresswoman Marcia Fudge from Ohio, is going to be named not as Agriculture Secretary, as mentioned before. She is going to be the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, which is the position which will soon be vacated by our favorite neurosurgeon, Dr. Ben Carson.
It's been vacant for 4 years.
I was waiting. That was a big old.
That man ain't done. I have not heard one policy issue or one housing. And this is a time when housing is really, really crucial because people are going through the situation. And old sleepy Ben just been chilling. I ain't heard not a word out of Ben. He's a surgeon. He would at least be able to come to the coronavirus meetings. He ain't come to do nothing. He ain't say nothing about housing. He ain't say nothing about medicine. It's been vacant for 4 years. They also said that they're going to virus. The whole cabinet got the damn virus.
Yeah.
Giuliani got it.
Oh my God.
And then they appointed he's appointing allegedly, or thinking of appointing a black man to the CIA, the head of the CIA.
And so, how cool is that? That the Department of Defense is going to be held by a retired 4-star general who is a black man, and joining the other black folks that have now been nominated. Although I'm not sure about this, what's going to happen with the Secretary of Defense and the general rather. A lot of questions already being bounced about, and I think because he is a former military man, and as a rule, the Department of Defense is not run by military. They say that because their relationships with the soldiers or with the naval personnel or whatever may color some of the decisions that they make regarding deployments and what have you, or attacks. So there's some questions about that, because if you'll remember, they also have to get a special request and put into the Congress, to the House and the Senate, in order to allow this to go through. And he already has to be approved by the Senate. So it'll be interesting to see how General Austin makes out with all of this. And there was also a big meeting with the leaders of 7 civil rights organizations and the Biden team today. So we'll get more information on how that went. So Damon, I'm sorry, you were going to say?
I'm just saying, if there's a conflict of interest, I imagine that's the issue. But at this point, there are no rules, because Ivanka and Jared had cabinet positions and they weren't qualified to even run a damn casino. So it's ridiculous. I just hope the CIA brother gets in, just so I can have the line, we went from being the spook who sat by the door to the spook behind the desk.
Yes. Yeah, and you heard it here first. And a shout out to Sam Greenlee, author of The Spook Who Sat by the Door, by the way.
I knew you would know who wrote the book. I knew it. I wanted to be that deep in it, which is, of course, a reference to the novel from the, but no. I know it from the movie that my parents let me go see on Sunday so they could get it in and dropped us off. That's how I know about that movie.
That is so funny. Did they take you to the roads? Do you remember?
The Beverly.
Beverly, yeah, which was owned by, was it the Cohen family? I can't remember. I went to school with one of the owner's sons.
Wow.
That used to own the Beverly. That is now a church.
Yeah, Third Baptist on the corner.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, a little bit of trivia. Sorry, Nick Costas. That's who it was. Nick Costas, and his family owned that. And so we would go to the theater and pull our little money out, and Nick would go.
Wow, the plug. Meanwhile, I was sneaking in that same theater, so they looked out for me too. They just don't know it. They have no idea that I had the plug too.
Let my boy David in, won't you? Absolutely. Okay, so as we mentioned, this was our top story today. The heat was on Joe Biden to add more color, more diversity to his cabinet. Today, he brought out his health team, and the nominee for Secretary of Health and Human Services is Xavier Becerra, who is currently the Attorney General for the state of California.
Yeah.
And the woman who is the chairman of the COVID task force, and now I can't remember her name, Black woman, Nunez Smith, Dr. Nunez Smith, and she is from the Virgin Islands.
Wow.
And just so what he likes to do is have as these people are introduced, to tell a little bit of their story and to give some background and some context to who they are and where they come from. And she talked about growing up in the Virgin Islands and wanting to be a doctor since she was 6 years old, and gave a shout out to her mother and her grandmother for putting her on that path, and how health of Black folks especially has been important to her because they did not receive the kind of medical care they needed on the island of St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, but also made reference to her father, who had a stroke when he was in his 40s, and she watched as her family, dealt with his illness, and now here she is, the chair of the COVID-19 task force at this level in the United States government. Just really great stories and opportunities for us to see more people that look like us.
That's amazing. So she's going to recommend you take 2 shots of the vaccine and a little bit of conch. Get you a little bit of conch salad. Knock all that Rona out. Rona soon gone.
But David, with a shot of rum.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, with a little shot of little St. Thomas rum there. And did you see this story today? They've already started the vaccines for people in England. Did you see this?
Yeah,
And
I
this
saw the
woman,
lady.
91 years old, right? Or about to be 91. And the second person who was an 80-something-year-old man by the name, well, he gave his name as William Shakespeare. To inoculate or to not inoculate? That is the question. Well, he chose to go for it. And here we are still sitting with the knowledge that Donald Trump had an opportunity to buy some of this stuff. He had a chance to be first in line to buy the vaccines for this country from Pfizer, and he turned it down.
This guy, he probably tried to work a deal with Pfizer and they didn't work it under the table. And so thusly, he let it ride because he came out with Revenzivor, whatever the hell he took when he was on that little hiatus when he had the Express Rona. He had the 2-day Rona. He probably was trying to pump that stock up. But, nothing surprises us when it comes to Trump about making good decisions, especially when it comes to this pandemic. So I'm not surprised at all.
And speaking of remdesivir, the drug
that's what I said.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
yes, you did. Yes, you did. Rudy Giuliani called into a radio show today or a television show, I'm not sure which, and said that he's taken a shot of the remdesivir and he's on his way to full recovery as well. Everybody around this man has had this disease. How crazy is that?
And his followers still swear it's a hoax.
And refuse. So my question is, when Joe Biden, he said that he is asking for people to wear masks just for him for the first 100 days. The first 100 days is really like I don't know. It's not a real indication of how his term is going to be the president, but it has been created over these years. What's he going to do in his first 100 days? And Biden has asked that people wear masks for him for the first 100 days. some states, not so much. That can be happening. But he is going to sign into law that whenever people are entering a federal building or any kind of federal facility, that they must wear masks. So that's a start.
Well, there's hope for people wearing more masks because I read today that one of the possible long-term effects of coronavirus is male erectile dysfunction. True
I
story.
I heard that too, David,
Read
and
that today. So
yeah.
it affects your vasculature. So now it's going to be a run on masks because men, just let them know the Rona affects the old ding dong. If the ding-a-ling ain't working, you see how quick they made the blue pill right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay.
anything for erectile dysfunction, you're gonna have men lined up wearing masks, getting shots and everything, because that's all you needed to do. We're gonna be all right. You're gonna see rednecks and MAGA hats. They're gonna have their masks on. They're gonna cooperate now because they found out it affects the old ding-a-ling.
And standing at attention. Yes. Yes.
Right.
See, sugar.
Precisely. So I think we might turn the corner. We might bend the curve on this one.
No, not flatten, bend it. Yes, yes. Oh, good morning, everybody. All right. So one person, I'm not sure if he has gotten coronavirus, or maybe that's why he's on the outs and has removed himself from all of the craziness of the Trump administration. But William Barr, the president's attorney, who is supposed to be the country's attorney, according to news reports, is seeing the writing on the wall and doesn't expect to stay with the administration before Inauguration Day. He doesn't expect to be there much longer. And they say that said that Barr is unhappy with Donald Trump, is not someone who fakes bullying and turns the other cheek. And so we will see. Now, last week, he came out and said that they could not find any widespread voter fraud in their Justice Department investigation, which, of course, is contrary to everything that Donald Trump has said. And then they were asking him, so what do you think about what your boy William Barr said? And he said, well, you'll know weeks and weeks from now, which means he's not going to be around for much longer.
Exactly. I mean, once you go against Trump, you already know, you get that cliche box that you see in every movie when people get fired, where they had a plant in that box. Every movie had that box, that one file box in that plant. You put your family pictures in it.
And that
and your mug. As soon as he said, well, Mr. President, I couldn't find it. Okay, well, get your box. You might as well get your box and your plant and call home because you'll be there soon.
And get to stepping.
Now.
So speaking of coronavirus, as we were, another horrific landmark, 15 million cases of coronavirus in the United States. We just went past that mark. And close to 300,000 deaths from this virus. And more good news for Black folks, not. The number of deaths of Black people from coronavirus is not what they thought, which was twice that of white folks, but it's 3 times as many Black people have died from the coronavirus than white people. For every one white person, 3 Black people have died.
And that led me to be really concerned early on when it started, because when it first came out, we were joking about it as comics, about it's over in China and it's the China flu and things of that nature. So you better avoid Chinese people and Chinese food. I had a joke. I said this all came because some peasant in the Wu-Tang province decided to make some bat nut soup and got on the plane and sneezed and tried to kill the world. But then it got to the point where it was in the suburbs. Like here, it hit out. The first case was like maybe Hoffman Estates. So I'm like, that's not us. But then once they said that it was killing Black folks, that's when I felt like there would be less emphasis and concern from the White House on finding a cure in situations because it's affecting us and they were surviving it. And so I'm sure it made it easier for Trump to look the other way when the numbers printed out. I wish nobody even pointed that out, that it's killing us, because that's when they take the emphasis off it. Just like
way
Reagan
off.
didn't care about the HIV and AIDS because he thought it was only the gays. So you have to be careful with that. And it seems like all these viruses that come out, because H1N1 had the same effect. They were saying it was blacks and Latinos, and that's why I said that's why they called it H1N1. That's Hispanics and Negroes. But but whenever it's affecting just us, there's less emphasis. So, thank God we got Biden and Kamala in there to kind of balance that out.
That's right. And the Surgeon General to be Vitek Murthy, an Indian American man. And as I mentioned, this doctor from the Virgin Islands, a Black woman on the health tip. So it's good to see that people who look like us in many respects, and of course.
Who is the current Surgeon General? Well, you normally know that, but off the top of my head, I don't know who the current Surgeon General is.
It is a Black man. He is from Indiana, and God, now I just lost his name. But he used to be the state Surgeon General from Indiana under Mike Pence's governorship, and I can see him. He's a bald guy, and he has a bit of a lisp. And now I got all of these things.
But you would think he would be on the news every day like Fauci,
and that's the other crazy thing, because he has really tried to cushion himself away from a lot of this misinformation that's been coming out of the Trump administration, including the necessity to wear masks and small groups and things like that. But golly, why can't I remember this doctor's name?
Ain't that crazy?
Somebody will tell us. But he is a young Black man from the state of Indiana.
And they obviously put him in a closet somewhere and told him to be quiet.
Yeah, pretty much, because he wasn't agreeing with them. And even from the very beginning, Damon, we did not see him at a lot of these coronavirus events, when they were having the daily press conferences and what have you. So
that seems weird, but that explains it now. He's a Black guy who didn't agree. So
yeah, that's it.
Go that way.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is Dr. Jerome Adams is his name.
And his name is Jerome?
Jerome.
There we go. I'm glad I asked.
Jerome.
Dr. Jerome.
Dr.
Ain't no white people in the White House listening to no damn Dr. Jerome. They quickly dismissed him like, no, thank you, Jerome. He probably made it to one meeting.
and they said, Jerome, do you agree with us? He said, yes. And so that didn't go over very well.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Dr. Jerome.
I say Jerome in the house. Watch your mouth. Jerome's in the. That would have been a great PSA. Jerome's in the house. Cover your mouth. When nobody would have the virus if they brought the Dr. Jerome out. I say Jerome's in the house. Cover your mouth. Jerome's in the house. We could have saved 200,000 people.
Is it too late for you to come up with that, Gucci D? Can we get you to do that just for the next couple of weeks?
Hey, we're gonna need it. When I go to Atlanta, I'm getting some Jerome's in the house masks. Cover your mouth.
Not in the White House, just in the house, because he's not showing up very much there. Damon, you and your wife travel a lot. We used to make jokes about you being known as Cayman Damon because you did a lot of this. And so this is one of the stories from our business and finance section of the newsletter, Traveling While Black and Landing at Professional Retreats. The emphasis on personal endeavors, traveling for leisure, is a practice that will become the norm. We will return to the norm. Cultural travelers are now the highest spenders, and you know this, and we talked about this on the Joyner Show, investing an average of $2,078 per trip compared to the average African American who spends about $1,345 per trip. The African American traveling market has increased by 24% between the years 2010 and 2018, totaling $15 billion market, and comprises a nearly $50 billion market, according to this Mandela research. And if we look at the hospitality giant valued at $35 billion. It created a separate business component for residents, and Black thought leaders, creatives, and experience coordinators now have a chance to start a successful business in this space with financial flexibility. So they're encouraging people to get into the retreat business for creating experiences, travel experiences, wellness groups, and in countries or in your own country. But I'm seeing a lot like having yoga retreats and other wellness retreats. We could have comedy retreats, but you are known for doing like the whole cruise market and being involved in a number of cruises, including the Jordan cruise, but also those others, and knowing how these experiences can be very profitable for people who are of that business.
Oh, absolutely. And really and truly, and as a joke, but not a joke, I think that increase since 2010. I
Yeah.
attribute a lot of that to social media and people tired of seeing us on them islands on the Tom Joyner cruise. They're like, damn it, I'm going somewhere. People like, I ain't paying tuition for these kids this year. I'm going on that cruise or I'm going to an island. But definitely, we become more aware and more in tune to it, and we become more organized and structured. I mean, I have a sister who has a travel business, and she's still booking trips right now. Like, definitely, people are still trying to book trips, and they're also booking trips ahead of time after looking forward to past the virus. So, and there are all type of travel clubs and then travel pages as far as social media is concerned. So, I really think social media has had a play in that because people see it. You used to just see the Let's Do Jamaica commercial, one love,
Right.
one heart, and you'd be
Right.
like, well, that ain't that. But now when you see people kicking it and they putting it in your face, ooh, we drinking it, we kick, ooh, y'all should be here, but you're not. People like, you know what? I'm going. I ain't gonna be the one. But you know what's really funny about that now? Facebook memories. All those pictures are now taunting us. So now we like, ooh, they look like strangers. Those people look like they having a good time. And we stuck in the house being taunted by our own posts. Because people hit you with that, oh, it must be nice you out by a pool. It's 2 degrees here. I'm like, hey, I'm just living my life. It was a job. I couldn't get out of it. It was mandatory. Even though now I don't know what I did to Lou and Gary, but they are not messing with me no more. So when they do the Tom Joyner cruise, don't expect to see me on there. I ain't been included in one meeting, one post, one nothing, and the other comedians have. So I don't know what it is, but if anybody can figure that out, so be it. It's probably because I almost slapped the shit out of Gary Bond. But other than that,
all right. Okay, that might be something that we might want to look into, David.
I might as well dig the hole all the way deep. But he was talking to me out of pocket, like I'm just a square. I'm like, dude, I don't work for you like that. But anyway, I'm joking. If they see it or not, who cares? I've been on enough of them. Shit, cruise ships ain't even safe now. But they're gonna be on that cruise by their damn self. Try hosting the goddamn drink tank with your Gucci goddamn visor. Boy, I don't know. See, I knew I shouldn't have had my chalice. This is the chalice of power in life. So now I know I ain't never gonna be on the cruise. I've been on enough of them though. So.
That truth serum, I don't know what that truth serum is, but go ahead.
It's remdesivir.
And somebody went to call Lou Calhoun right now and hip her to the fact that.
I love Lou. I don't think it was Lou. I really don't. But whatever it was a great experience. And if anybody has an opportunity to do that. Or just wait till 2021 late and do Festival at Sea, where they treat me like a star. All right, I get a big ass family size suite.
You don't get
everything. Yeah. So anyway, enough of that. But I'm glad I got that out there. How about that?
Let me know if they have any book clubs they want to do while you're on there.
Let's get that done.
Okay.
But look, let's skip one though, because we want them to go out on that test. Yeah. Let them get all in the. Yeah. 2022.
Right, right. One of the things that we are talking about on the in this newsletter also is our Black History Fact, and this reminds me of our good friend Erica Taylor used to work with us and on the Black America Web as well as at Reach Media. So she used to be a producer for our show as well, and talking about Ruth Carroll Taylor. Can you imagine she was the first African American airline flight attendant in this country in 1958.
Wow.
Can you imagine working as a nurse? She challenged the discriminatory practices of the airline industry by applying for a stewardess position. That's what they were called at TWA. Remember TWA? And when she was rejected, she filed a complaint, and that complaint was heard, and she ended up being hired by Mohawk Airlines, and
That makes sense.
yeah.
Because TWA stood for the white airline.
My Uncle Fate was a sky cap for TWA. They had the nicest uh, flatware that was borrowed from first class on TWA.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is Mohawk said they would hire minorities. She applied and was selected out of 800 applicants. 6 months later, it ended due to another discriminatory barrier, which was their marriage ban. You couldn't be married and be a flight attendant.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I bet you could be married and be a pilot. It's a double standard.
Oh
Ladies,
man.
y'all been going through it so long. But it makes sense that Mohawk, that sounds like a hairstyle. So, they they definitely was gonna have a sister on the Mohawk airline versus TWA.
Right. Do you remember the old TV show Mad Men about the
Yes.
advertising? And I think Mohawk was like one of their clients.
Wow.
And in the storyline, and Mohawk was actually the one that hired her, but then she said that she really didn't have any long term aspirations to be a flight attendant or a stewardess. She was just intent upon breaking that barrier, that color barrier, and she did. And 1958, Damon, come on.
You got any photos of her?
Yeah, she's yeah, it is in our little
I'll
note.
look on the newsletter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do.
Because she
Yeah.
had to be cute and she had to be in shape.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
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 She
Yeah.
probably looked like Lola Falana.
Right. 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 A light-skinned Lola Falana.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was I thinking? They weren't going to start off with the dark skin one.
Right. Right.
It's sad.
Well,
You know how they treat us.
but not a good look back at our history there. Um, Damon, I wanted to talk to you about the loss of a baseball great out of Chicago. He might have been before your time, but Dick Allen, Richie Allen, of the Chicago White Sox, passed away yesterday, and he really was an incredible uh, and powerful black man who made some changes in the baseball field, on the field and off, actually. And I think it was it Reggie Jackson or one of those cats who called him the black boss of baseball, because he required a certain amount of respect. For his thoughts, his opinions, whether they were political or not, as well as his prowess on the field. And Richie Allen was well, they called him Richie, and then he preferred to go by the name Dick Allen, and so
Because
he
Richie sounds like a kid and Dick sounds like a man.
exactly, exactly,
You
and
calling me Richie?
I often thought that was the conversation that was had in the barber shops about how he changed his name and wanted to be called Dick as opposed to Richie. But a lot of white media people called him Richie Allen, and he insisted that they call him. And he never made it to the Hall of Fame. He fell off of that off the mention board after, because there's a certain period of time, a certain window you have in order to be voted upon. He did not make it because he was not a favorite of a lot of those white baseball writers that he would often call to task. And so hopefully he will go back now, maybe as one of the old timers or something. His name will be mentioned again. But he passed away in Pennsylvania at the age of 78, and
Wow.
he was one of the original. Even before they were called that, I think he was really one of the original hitmen of the Chicago White Sox. So with that, we
Yeah, I
can.
saw a little blurb of it on Sports Center, but I wasn't familiar. Baseball is not my favorite sport. I might
Right.
watch it when it's playoff time, when it's crunch time, because I used to try to watch baseball around the house. The game is slow if they have to build in a stretch. All right, everybody get up. Enough of this shit. Everybody get up and stretch. Shit, wake up. It's built in the game. It's called the seventh inning. Yeah. So baseball, and back to the whole Richie thing. You never want to hear a woman say, "Give me that Richie," but come on, baby, give me that Richie. No, that I'm Dick. You understand me? Call me Richie again. See, don't I get up from here?
Oh God. Oh, Father. Is it warm in here, or is it just me? So Dave, one of the other things I want to talk to you about are the interviews that you're doing, and how can people find them?
It's called the Damon Williams Check-In. It's a very new platform. We only have 3 episodes done. 2 are up. It's on YouTube, but the link is in the bio on my Instagram. I'm actually going to get a link tree, so all my stuff will be on there. But the first 2 weeks I had, I've done 3 now. I had George Wallace grace my show, and me and him had a long talk, because, George ain't got nothing else to do. So he was just, we kicked it 30, 40 minutes. Leon Rogers, who is a Chicago comedian, but he's also a radio personality. He has a show on Fox called Later with Leon. Just Niche, who's an up and rising lady. She is hilarious, doing her thing out of Chicago comedian. Who else? Rodney Perry did it. Me and Rodney had a great chat. And I dug up, and I say dug up because you probably haven't heard this name in a long time. He played Stinky on House Party, but he was also on The Real World. And he was a cast member of In Living Color. His name is David Edwards. Yeah. And Dave did the show. Yeah, and Dave looked like he'd been in the cave because he'd been quarantined. So we haven't dropped this episode yet, but it is hilarious. So I'm going to be doing like comedians mostly, but also, interesting personalities. Actually, Taraji said she would do it. But then her people's like, we politely declined because they saw it was like 2 weeks in with 32 views. So wait till I get my weight up and revisit that favorite. I had a conversation with Bill Bellamy and JB Smooth. They're supposed to do the next one. So it's just me sitting down like this, kicking it with people and getting behind the scenes and then asking questions that like basically only I can ask because I've had experiences with these people, especially the comedians. So look for that. And I'm just trying to find ways to, innovate and adapt to the scenario that we're living in right now and not put my health in jeopardy too much and still keep in touch and keep my creative flow going. But I really think that is a platform that really kind of spun off from Laugh Tonight or Urban Flicks when we did the sit downs. And I feel like I got a nice little rapport with people to do that. So look forward to doing that. I don't know if it's a blog or a podcast or a vlog. It's just an interview show. I don't know what the hell you call them now.
Well, I think you call it a podcast. I don't see, unless you want to make it, set it up in something different. But it is a great idea. And the questions that you ask, like you say, are questions that, very few people other than, people have been through that can ask. Just Niche, she is, and I was introduced to her by you. And she is, and I love the way that like you and Guy are amongst others really take these young female comedians and guide them, and really help them along the way. And she is hilarious.
She is hilarious. And her social media is on fire. And it's Nisha spelled N-E-S-H, people, because it's Tanisha, but it's N-E-S-H. She has memes all day. It's bananas. And me and Juanita, we kind of adopted her when we first saw her, the first time we saw her. So I had a radio show here for a little while, and she started calling in. because she used to work for DCFS, but she wasn't doing nothing. So she would just be on the phone calling in. So then she started coming in. Then she eventually left her job and became a cast member of the radio show. And now she's just off to the races. So you can catch her on Laugh Tonight, on Urban Flicks, on my show. She did Monique's Showtime, and she also did Kevin Hart's Heart of the City. So just niche. That's why I grabbed her. But yeah, I'm definitely an advocate for ladies in comedy because, first of all, as a business person in this business, you want to cater to your core audience. And if you go to a comedy club, it's 75% women. You know, it's a group of women at a table, 5 women, a birthday or baby shower or whatever women are celebrating. Yeah. And men not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't never seen 6 dudes, hey man, let's look up and go down to the comedy show and have some wings and laughs. You know, dudes, they go because the women go, you know. But I'm telling fellas, when the clubs open back up and the ones that are still open, if you're a single individual and you want to find a population of ladies who obviously are upwardly mobile and in a good mood, go to the comedy club. I'm telling you right now, comedy shows are the bomb. But I also think that the women's voice, like this is the age of the woman right now. You know, who run the world? Girls. You know, women lead. The future is female, and I'm tapping into that because first of all, I love to hear a funny woman tell some jokes because, you know, men always had a perspective, and it's usually if it's a flyer with a bunch of 6 comedians and the one woman, you know, and then the host brings up, and now comedy from a female perspective. No, it's just jokes, you know. So one time I introduced, I might have been Niche or somebody, and I was like, you know, comedy from a female perspective. She said, "Oh Lord, if I hear that one more time, can it just be comedy?" And they just go up there and they get down. So there's a young lady, Mimi Simpson. She actually booked us, me and JJ Williamson, to do her show at the West Palm Improv. We'll be there Wednesday. And so her, Niche, Shima Franklin, it's a group of women, Crystal P, they have a tour called the Funny by Nature Tour, where it's women and they're starting to take the lead. One of my favorite comedians on our circuit, and there's a boss in the game, is Samore. You know, Samora is a boss, and she is the type, she takes out the tour, and she's the boss on that tour. She's the headliner, she's the staple. And the thing about her work ethic is so amazing. Every time we go out year after year, she comes back with a new 30 minutes. So I know when she come out, she gonna have 3 hours because she ain't been out. And so shouts out to Samora. If anybody's watching this, y'all tag her and tell her hello and tell her I love her because she took me on that Royal Comedy Tour, and we did some big things.
And she is a queen. She really
is. She is absolutely.
Yeah.
And you don't know money like some more no money.
Okay.
that was her first tag when I first saw her. Like you don't know money like I know money.
Damon, we have Gail on Facebook. She said, not only, you know, your baby showers or your bachelorette parties or a divorce party, where they gather at the comedy club.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what to call it, but it's FM girl parties. That's what I call it. You don't need this trifling ass FM girl.
There you go. Well, when I saw you a couple of weeks ago in Dallas, there was a bachelorette party, I think. Yeah, a group of folks.
They
from
do
Chicago.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Marilyn Bell, who's every time I come to
Yep.
Dallas, Marilyn is front and center, and she organized that gathering. So shouts out to her. She's a cruiser, so you know that's one of our people.
That's right, absolutely. May not see her or Damon on the next Jordan cruise, but for sure.
I ain't never gonna be on. I already wasn't on, but I ain't never gonna be on now. I have to get a crew job.
Well, Lou will have you as a volunteer.
I was already a volunteer. That's probably what happened. The last couple of years, I'm telling you what happened. It's either that or like me and Marvin used to host all these shows. And then I looked up and they was handing out envelopes and I'm like, where's mine? They was like, well, you on this radio. I'm like, that ain't got shit to do with this. When I tell jokes, that's my craft, that's my thing, you know, and I ain't airing my grievance, but I am. But when I'm on that mic, that's a whole nother skill set. Plus, if you're gonna pay everybody, pay everybody.
Come on.
So, but we did it for a great cause. We put some kids through school. I'm very grateful to Lou because she is the one who got me on that ship. And I always told her if she needed me for anything, I would do it, and that still applies. So all jokes aside, shouts out to Lou, and that's all the shouts out I'm doing.
All jokes aside, Lou. Another great memory. Damon Williams, I love you. Absolutely love you. One more time.
Anybody that wears a visor, I don't give a shit about that person. I don't care who it is. Because I can't wear visors. That's what I'm hating on. I'm hating on visors because if I wear a visor, then I have a ring in the sun. So that's all that is.
That person wearing visor probably has the same thing. But tell people how they can find you on all of your platforms.
You can find me here on Random Tuesdays on the Sybil Wilkes Show.
Can we make you a regular?
I ain't doing nothing. Randomly on Tuesdays right here. They break the glass and here I come. But just go on my Instagram and hit, Damon Williams Comedy is my website. And it's a link tree on there where you can find all my social stuff. But I'm online every day. The check-in will be dropped on YouTube. That's GBTV. His name is Greg Bush, the guy who put that show together, GBTV on YouTube. But everything's on my page. I'm on social media, and I'll be right back here. So if y'all looking for me, just ask Sybil.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. My love to Juanita and the kids.
Hey, the babies.
You got 2 now, right?
Yes. We have 2, and it's quite a thing because the personalities of these dogs is completely different. Could have quit while we was ahead because Margot's the bomb. This little ghetto ass little Piper. Piper is something else. Piper ain't figured out the puppy pad yet, so Piper might be up for adoption soon. Got one more time to do it on my rug. She picked the man cave of all places.
Oh no. She's just
my wife just
love.
said, "Hey."
She's sharing love with you now. Thank you, Damon. Love to Juanita and Piper and Margot. And
shouts out to Myra J. She said you can find him anywhere but the Fantastic Hey, Myra, I watched the Robin Harris Comedy Act Theater on Amazon last night, and she was about 12 years old telling jokes.
Nice.
It was so funny. Shouts out to my Shout-Out sister. Yeah.
That's right. What was that on?
It's on Amazon. It's on Prime.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
You can search it. Yep, Robin Harris Comedy Act Theater.
Wow, nice. Can see Myra when she was 12. All right, Damon, I love you. I thank you so much, my friend, and we will be in touch with you on some random Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll be right here anytime. Love you too. Thanks everybody. Chica and everybody just back there. Yogi, the whole squad. Y'all know how to find me. It's on.
Your biggest fans right here, Damon. And before we leave, just want to share a little information with you about our friends at BlackVotersMatterFund.org.
Yes, Georgia. I don't care. Even if you're not in Georgia, donate to the cause for the Georgia so we can flip that state and get this country back on track and try to do some things. And then after January, stay active, stay involved, because we got to hold them accountable. And we voted them in. They know the power of our vote now. And now we need to use our voice. We need to be united and have an agenda that works for us, the country, but us specifically as well. So thank you for your platform, and thank you for having me, and God bless America.
Love sent their way. Who needs love? Who needs love? Who needs a little love today? Who needs some love sent their way? Who needs love? Who needs love?
Hey, everybody, have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Stephen Hill and Myra J., the aforementioned Myra J., when she's about 15 now, if she was 12 in that Robin Harris video. We'll see you all tomorrow. Be good to each other. Wear your mask. Wash your hands.